Hi everybody. Today we're starting Math Unit 5, which is Geometry. Today we're going to begin with some geometry review. So here are the materials that you'll need. You need your math notebook, pencil, whiteboard, marker and eraser, and a good attitude. So go ahead and pause the video and click play when you're ready to move on. Alright, so for mental math today on your whiteboard, which quadrant would this ordered pair go? 4, 12. Now, we remember that when we're dealing with ordered pairs, the first number here, which is 4, is the x value, and the x value goes left to right first. So because this is 4, we're going to go start at 0 and go over 4, and then our y value is 12, so we'd go up 12. So our quadrant that this ordered pair would go into would be quadrant 1. All right, now I'm going to let you go ahead and do the other one, or the next couple on your own. Let me just erase this here. All right, so now that you've got the hang of it, you can use the pluses and minuses to kind of help you remember. So positive, positive would go in quadrant 1. Negative, positive goes in quadrant 2, negative, negative goes in quadrant 3, and positive, negative goes in quadrant 4. All right, so here is the next one. 1.5 and -7 is our ordered pair. So go ahead and take a second, pause the video if you need to, and write down which quadrant this ordered pair goes in. All right, so if you said that 1.5, -7 goes into quadrant 4, you would be correct because 1.5 is a positive number and -7 is a negative number. All right, how about this one? -4, -12. Write which quadrant that one would go in. All right, if you said that -4, -12 would go into quadrant 3, you would be correct. All right, so now we are going to need our math notebooks. So go ahead and pause the video, clean off your whiteboard, and open up your notebook to a new page. All right, so you should have your notebook open to a clean page. At the top of your notebook, I'd like you to write the words geometry. And I'll kind of spell it up here a little bit for you. And you can underline that. And we've got 2 vocabulary words that we're going to write down today. Our first one is area. And area is the space inside a shape. The space inside a shape. So when you think of area, you can think of carpeting, like we have there, the little picture. So area would be all the stuff inside our shape, which is a rectangle here. So you can go ahead and write those things down, and you can draw a little picture if that helps you. All right, and then we're going to write perimeter. So perimeter is like a fence. It is the outside lengths, or the outside measures of a shape. Perimeter is the outside measure of the shape. So here we've got a nice outer fence for perimeter, the outside. And this should be a review for you from several grades ago. I think you started learning this kind of stuff in like 3rd grade. So we've got area and perimeter. You can pause the video, finish writing, and then play it when you're ready to go on to the next page. All right, so let's move on. Here we've got some 3- and 4-sided polygons. These should be somewhat familiar to you. Maybe not all of them, but most of them should be familiar, or a review at least. You should have heard of at least most of these. So on the left side here, we've got some 3-sided figures, and we know that shapes that are 3-sided are called triangles. Triangles. We have an equilateral triangle. An equilateral means that all sides are the same. They are all the same length. That was kind of messy, sorry. All sides are the same length. Equilateral. Then we have an isosceles triangle. That's this one, isosceles. And isosceles means that 2 sides are the same length. That side and that side are the same length. And then we've got a scalene triangle. That's this bottom one, scalene. And a scalene triangle has no sides the same. So go ahead and pause and write about the 3-sided figures, which are triangles. All right, next I'm going to talk about our 4-sided figures, which are called quadrilaterals, because quad means 4. A lot of these I know that you've heard of before. We're going to start out with trapezoids. So here we have 2 different kinds of trapezoids. This one and this one. Trapezoids have 1 right angle. At least 1 right angle. So we can see here that from the top to the bottom, we've got a straight line that makes a right angle. So our top lines are parallel, and our other 2 sides are not parallel. Now this triangle here is called an isosceles triangle. Can you guess why it's called an isosceles triangle? If you thought it was because 2 sides are the same length, like they are over here with our isosceles triangle, you would be correct. 2 of the sides are the same length. The next one that we've got is parallelograms. Now, parallelograms can be a lot of different shapes. All it means is that the 2 groups of sides, the opposite sides, are both parallel. So this side is parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to this side. So if they continued on, the ends would never meet. They are parallel. Now we know that lots of shapes can be parallelograms, like a square or a rectangle or a rhombus. All of those things can all be parallelograms. All right, our next shape that we've got is rectangles. Here's our rectangle down here, a purple shape. Rectangles have 4 sides, and all sides are parallel. Sometimes the sides are the same length. Sometimes only 2 sides are the same length. Or opposite sides, I'm sorry. You should know most stuff about rectangles. All right, our next one is squares. Here we've got a very bad picture of a square. But we know that all sides of a square are the same. Those little lines on the shapes just mean that they are the same length. So again, that's a very bad drawing, but we know that squares have sides all the same. All right, our next one, we've got a rhombus here. Here's our rhombus. Now a rhombus is like a square, but it is turned a little on its sides, and its sides are usually all the same length. Sometimes rhombuses don't have all 90-degree angles. Sometimes they're more squashed. Let me get my pen here. Sometimes they're more squashed. Whoops. Like that, more of a diamond shape. That's really bad. Well, you get the idea. Sometimes they're more squashed, sometimes they're square. They're both rhombuses as long as all sides are the same length. All right, and then our very last one. Here we've got, we've got a kite. Okay, there we go. A kite. That's this one down here. Our kites have perpendicular sides the same length. Perpendicular just means that they are right next to each other instead of opposite. So in this case, the top two sides are the same length and the bottom two sides are the same length. All right, so hopefully you have all of that stuff written down. If you do not have those things written down and drawn to the best of your abilities, then you can go ahead and pause the video. And then when you are all done with that, you may go ahead and get your things cleaned up and put away. Great job today, and I hope that you remembered some stuff about geometry. This is definitely one of my favorite units in 6th grade math, so I'm hoping that you will enjoy some of it. I know this wasn't very exciting, but we should get to some more exciting stuff soon.